talk about Final Destination Bloodlines.
Hello, my name is Rufkin, and I'm excited to be a part of this horror hot take.
You are the king of hot takes. I'm Dawn, and
I am Jerica.
my hot take is Death loves a Rube Goldberg machine. It's his favorite because Death is a nerd. Good job, Death.
Okay, I mean, my hot take is that the people that we think are the heroes, majority of the time, are actually the villains.
Ooh, snap.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That is a
That's
good one. Dang, topical.
Dang. Yeah, my hot take would be if you haven't already and you want to know, maybe you don't want to know, but if you type in www.deathclock.com, you can see the time of death, and you have to put like your weight and your IBM.
No.
You do? You have
I
to put
don't want it. I don't want to know when I die. I'm scared.
That's a hot take.
It is a hot take. I've done it.
Don't tell me when.
I'm like,
You
I
got a
know.
while, right?
Kind
Please
of.
pretend.
I'll pretend.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
Shut up. I want y'all to be
As it
alive a long time.
Counts down the seconds of your life, but it's fun, and I don't know how
Is it
accurate.
fun?
I don't know. It's part of the movie, you know, like
I'm
it's
so
death coming for
upset.
you.
No.
So say that one more time. What's the
Yeah,
address
what
they
is
can
it?
go to?
It's
Sorry, I reacted strongly.
the URL.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's www.deathclock.com. So go check it out if you're feeling I don't know.
Like
you're
you want to
feeling-
know.
like if you
I don't want
wanna
to know.
Why?
No one send. I swear, if anyone Rick rolls me to that, I will be so angry. Don't do it.
I'll send it to you at midnight
No,
tonight.
no. I don't want it. I don't want it. Oh my gosh, you guys. I just had a premonition that we started a podcast. Like about horror movies. All right, well, let's get to it. What do you even remember from the podcast? No, from the movie. We're doing the podcast. My realities are bending in on themselves. We'll see how I do.
I guess the most cringy, creepy part that I remember was like when they were in the hospital, and that's when the machine turned on and all of the
was
metal.
it the penis ring for you?
Yeah, that was bad.
I don't even have one, and I was deeply upset by that, but also couldn't stop laughing. It was
Right.
it was the comedy feel good of the year. I loved it top to bottom. I mean bottom in the front for our good friend Eric, I believe.
Correct.
I think I forgot to write down their names. So I'm a giant nerd, and I have pages, like literal pages, from the darkened movie theater. Just all the notes, and then just laughed maniacally. Before we get too deep into all of the uncomfortable moments that we visually saw, anybody want to do a recap for us?
Sure.
Okay. All right, Jerica, take it away.
So the plot of the movie is about Iris and her fiance, soon to be husband, and it's called Bloodlines because it goes through the whole family generation. So maybe help me out.
The
here.
sky view?
The sky view, yes. So the sky view is where they had like a beautiful dinner, but that's where it like started and it took place. And she had a vision, and so that's where it started, and then it passed through the family. So
Yeah. Well, and Death doesn't take kindly to cheating him. He's
I think it was kind of cool though when you think about the fact that Iris had that vantage point when she was already at the sky view, and then it goes fast forward all the way through her bloodline, and then her granddaughter is also having the exact same one. Like that to me was,
as a like nightmare.
yeah, it was kind of cool too because it tied in people having those premonitions, and so it kind of connected like. One part of the bloodline had premonitions, multiple missed it, and then another part picked it up. Like that was a pretty
It's
cool.
like there's a genetic component to it.
Correct.
Also, I love that it was the most ethnically ambiguous family. I really did enjoy that because it historically it's been a very white franchise. So I liked that we got a lot more representation, which made me happy. One of the things that I found really interesting was like the point that you brought up that Stef had, where she's the only person from that franchise that has had a premonition that wasn't hers. Which was really interesting because basically, my history with the franchise, I thought I had watched the first 3, but then the day after we went to the movie theater and watched Bloodlines, I realized, nope, I need to go through and need to watch. I didn't realize that we were on 6 now. I haven't seen the first 3. So I went back through. I'd seen 1, I'd seen 2, with the iconic logging truck, which this Bloodlines played a fabulous homage to.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
It was actually better than I anticipated it to be.
So much better.
There was some spots that I significantly was just like, I can't watch this part because it hurts. But, you know.
And I was just laughing like a serial killer.
I know.
So
it was funny to watch, but there was just parts in there that were just so cringy, but you couldn't look away from the movie, you know?
Yeah, I 100% agree with that.
it's one of the things that I really enjoyed was kind of as you watch through all the different movies, seeing what sort of themes and different like narrative options and approaches that the franchise takes and where it changes that and where it doesn't.
Right.
I thought was really interesting. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you noticed this, but this is something that happened in Bloodlines, and it also happened in basically all the other Final Destinations. But this franchise loves naming things, innocuous words that then predict death. So like in, what was it? I think, I want to say it was like 3 or 4. I think it was 4. There was a coffee shop. There was, I think it was called Death by Caffeine,
Okay.
which I found hilarious. During one of the death scenes, there was that garbage truck that comes up, and it was named, this is where the notes don't come in handy.
What page is it on?
Yeah, what page is it on? Was it before or after the barbecue? It was after the barbecue.
Can you even read those?
And that's rude?
I know.
No,
I mean, you wrote
can
it in
read
the
them.
dark.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part, Rufkin?
I mean, there was a couple parts that had me on my toes, for sure. In the premonition, especially the way that they started it, I thought was extremely well done. Because when they were starting it and it already went into that chaos, it was like, wait, hold on. This can't be it. Like, everybody's dying right now? Like, that can't be correct. But the part where she is being held up by her finger.
Oh my
and
gosh.
has just the ring.
And it's just
And
peeling
it's
the
just
skin off of her
peeling
finger.
As
Oh.
it's peeling it away. That was one of those moments where
That
I was
was the
just
most
like,
upsetting part.
oh. And then Dawn was like, ah.
Yeah. I mean, that made it sound more maniacal than what I felt like I sounded like, but I believe you. I believe you. It was so funny.
It was.
Yeah.
You were just peeling like a banana.
I think that part was really crazy for me. But I also loved the way that kind of set up, and we revisited that scene again. And that to me was another really cool kind of like bring you back, start you with something exciting. We want to start you with something that was gripping and kind of threw off your senses of how this was going to start or how it was going to go. And then it pulls it back into when she meets up with her grandma. And then her grandma's like, oh, you mean this? And it was a very cool piece to be like, oh, shoot.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool.
Well, and I guess logically, if you think about it, you're like, well, yeah, her grandma had to have survived because she's here and her grandma's pregnant.
Correct.
But for a minute, I was like, is grandma even alive? Like, what happened? Because generally what you get is you cut immediately to that person because it's their premonition
Yeah.
and it's, but here we didn't get the satisfaction of following the person with the premonition
Right.
and seeing how they saved anybody. But yeah, I thought it was really interesting. The series loves the wildest deaths you've ever seen.
The lawnmower scene.
Oh, the lawnmower scene.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't
face.
even see it, but you know
But-
exactly what happened.
The crazy part with the lawnmower scene, to me, was the way that they set that up.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, when the glass broke and it initially went into the ice bucket, and I'm
Yeah.
sitting there like, oh,
Someone's
no,
gonna
oh,
drink.
no.
And yeah.
Yeah, so then,
You're like, it's going down someone's throat.
Yeah. And that's how they're gonna die.
Yeah.
But that's not what happened.
And that's
But that kept you on the edge
it
of your
did.
seat.
That's what I
Yeah.
love is they constantly set it up to where you were never sure what was going to be the thing that killed someone.
Right.
So you're like, oh, it's going to be the spring in the vending machine. No, not that one. Oh, it's going to be the MRI. It's going to do something to somebody. It's going to be the wheelchair's going to get him. Well, not that one. It's going to get someone else. And then the spring did get him, just
Yeah.
not when you thought it would.
the interesting thing with the spring, though, is if it's that strong, how did it not just pull the entire...
The entire machine.
Because
The
as,
vending
as you were
Yeah.
walking, like,
Fair.
as the nurse was walking up, I mean, things were all just bam, 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 onto the wall, onto the door.
Selective
and so
physics?
I'm
Is
like,
it-
And then surely she has some sort of metal materials on her body that just somehow didn't go through it. Like, that was one of the things where I'm like, man, this
like
would have
eyelets
been...
on her shoes.
Right.
Maybe she was wearing Crocs.
This would have been a really
The
cool
nurse Crocs.
opportunity to add another death without it being like a, oh, hey, it's only in these people.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
this was her time as well, and it just that you get the whole
And the
vending
vending
machine,
machine,
just bam.
it would have been like a triple
Yeah,
death.
it should have been. Yeah,
Should've
it
been.
should have just like pulled that poor lady in. But sorry, ma'am, you're a hero. You're a nurse. But yeah, one of the things I love about the franchise is like, and going back through and like watching all the different ones, they love both foreshadowing via music. Like you have the Johnny Cash is like Burning Ring of Fire, and that's literally what the Skyview turns into.
Right.
And that song keeps playing. Some of the other movies in the franchise, they've literally taken a song and it's played throughout, and sometimes it's like, on a radio, and then there's just a guy on a bus playing it on guitar.
Yeah.
And like it just...
That's really cool.
It is really cool.
that you got
and like,
that.
yeah, and they do that with signage too. Like I think it was 4 that had Death by Caffeine as a coffee shop. In Bloodlines, when we see the death with the sister, or well, Stef's cousin.
Yeah.
When she gets into the garbage truck is called Providence, meaning death is coming for you.
Yeah.
You don't get a say in the matter. It's coming. So it's like, I love those little touches.
Right.
In fact, they have, and this one I didn't look up, but they have a beer company they invented for the franchise that exists throughout. And sometimes you'll see it in one scene. In 3, I think it was, 2 or 3, there was a beer company truck that drove past. And then like, that's when you get, a death where a motor flies through a vehicle and chops the back of a guy's head off. Are you trying to look
Yeah,
up
I'm
beer
trying to look
company? Yeah, I love it.
Erie Brewing.
Erie Brewing. No, okay,
cool.
let me pull up the name.
So it says in the movie Final Destination, the beer company featured is Heist Pale
Yes,
Ale.
there it is.
And the character Carter drinking the Erie Brewing Company also has called Final Destination, which is an IPA.
yeah,
I want to try that beer.
I don't know. Is it real?
It has to
I
be,
f-
no? Or is it
I
just...
don't know, because like a lot of this stuff is just made up for the movie.
I mean, it looks like Erie Brewing Company actually
But like
does
they actually
have,
made it.
They have a Final Destination.
Oh, it doesn't look like
out.
that in the movie, though. Oh, are you 21?
I, unfortunately, am over 21.
You didn't tell me that.
But that is one of the cool... That is a really cool thing to kind of point out.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's done better than others. Like in what was it? I think it was also 4, which is like the least well reviewed one. Anyway, at one point they're in a mall, and they're renovating, and you can tell that somebody was like, we can't show the brand names of these tools, so they built like these boxy green housings that they put on the outside of all the tools, and it looks awful. And then it looked like they had set it up in a way that they could green screen something else onto it, but just didn't. And I was like, you're totally using a DeWalt nailer. Like, nobody is buying this, but whatever. I love that, like all those little touches of like song lyrics and companies, and
they get really detailed with.
Yeah. It's one of those things like comedy and horror have so many things in common, because it's all about pacing things, and you want to tweak all the little like levers to build up that being uncomfortable, because then you get the release of somebody died or now we're all laughing, and that's what makes it good. Whereas if I'm like, rough cat, but there was no build up, you're just like it's not as scary. You're in shock and you're probably running out of the room, but like as a moviegoer, it's not nearly as exciting as to the point of like that hospital scene that we were talking about. Like there's all these things that you think are gonna be the thing, like something's gonna happen. I think a big part of that is what I am now calling the death breeze. It didn't matter if you were in a closed room like we are in now, and heaven help me if I see a breeze anywhere. Don't you? No, stop it. You can have a completely shut room and somehow there's a breeze indoors. It raises the question, is that death playing with them, being like, I'm coming for you, bro, you're not going to get away? Or is it something else that's warning them? The premonition. That's like, to me, that's the question, is it trying to help them against death, which they're not going to escape? Or is it death just saying, ha, 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 ha?
So that's, Dawn, you bring up a really good point, because the part where Stef goes to the cabin.
Yeah.
And she's talking with Iris in the cabin.
Yeah.
And Iris moves and grabs the book, and then all of a sudden it adjusts, and you get the magnifier glass that starts heating up the actual plant that's right over Iris.
Yeah.
And then she kind of goes, and then it throws it, hits it, and goes, not today. Those are the things that it's very similar to the wind.
Yeah,
and then
it's that death breeze.
Even when Iris left, like, realizes I'm going to die.
But I'm making the choice.
But makes the choice, you could hear and see death in the wind.
Right. Like she knew it was coming.
So
everything.
Then here's the question for you. Where was that wind at the end?
Well, I think it was pushing the train real hard. It didn't have a chance to...
So that's the part, though, that I would like to comment on is I feel like this is one of the first Final Destinations where everyone died.
No. Oh, I deep dove. I did a deep dive.
Okay.
But some of them,
though. Dive deep. A deeper dive. I final dived into the movies.
Down the diver.
I down dived. Down dived. So, okay, so in the first movie, everybody died. By the end of the movie, everybody dies except for, actually, let me pull up my notes. So I screenshotted articles. Some of these articles literally talk about other events. I want to get into it, but in answer to your question, so after the first movie, the only two people alive are Clear Rivers, who becomes kind of the star of the second movie, and Alex, I believe was his name. Yeah. Alex and Clear Rivers are the only ones that are alive at the end of the movie. However, somewhere in between the first movie and the second movie, Alex dies. So he doesn't make it to the second movie, but he did something similar to Iris, in which he literally kind of, like, he was locking himself in a cabin. He was trying to eliminate variables that are going to affect things and keep him alive. So he's kind of the one that basically started that in the franchise, but like as we see, maybe he wasn't the one that started it in the death sequence.
Right.
And then Clear Rivers dies in number 2, so she doesn't make it all the way through number 2. By the end, I'm trying to remember. All these little white people are blending together. I think it was 3. By the end of it, there are 2 characters left, but they're both dead by 4.
Okay.
And then 5 was actually a prequel, surprisingly, to 1. Because it ends where the plane starts in the first one, where Alex is like, "Get off! Oh my gosh, we're gonna die!"
Ties it all in.
Yeah, it ties it all in. So,
That's so cool.
even though they look like they're about to make it, they don't, because they're in the plane crash.
Correct.
They don't get off.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
So yes, we've had people live through the end of the movie, but not long.
Okay. But that was my next question is, like, I wonder if there's going to be another...
We do have one. Yeah, we have
Really?
confirmation that
Okay.
they've got another one that's in the works.
Really?
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
very exciting.
Deep diving Dawn over here with all
I
of the
know.
good stuff.
Yeah,
I was
I'm just
Get
trying
all
not to
the
get the
details.
bends on the way up. I really nerded out. My notes are just too much. It's a lot. Probably should go touch grass. But I was really excited. I listened to some interviews from the directing team that did this, because I know a lot of the talk in like Reddit threads and different things like that of people that are a big Final Destination buff, which I would not consider myself to be one, but now I feel like I am. Like I'm
don't
getting
lie.
in there.
You are, no.
I'm getting in there now, man. I'm fully in it. But anyway, a lot of people were really concerned because this team hadn't had a lot of horror movie experience and success.
Right.
And so it was one of those things that you're not sure what you're going to get. Would you like to know a fun fact about the directing team?
Bring it on.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
So these people are brilliant, and I low-key love them. So the directing team, Adam Stein and Zach Lipovsky, basically in their pitch to the studio execs to try to get to be chosen as the directing team for this movie, because it was like they already knew the movie was going to be happening, but like they're shopping directors.
Sure.
They were doing it over like Zoom, right?
Okay.
And so it's a live pitch, but what they did was they choreographed a pre-filmed section and made it look live, where they're doing the pitch and they make it look like a fan falls down and decapitates one of them during the pitch. And they were like, this is what we're doing. This is what we're bringing. And they were like,
How cool.
I mean, yeah, sure. You've already, like, this. Can we do this part? Like, is this it? And then obviously a fan features pretty heavily in the tattoo parlor scene.
Correct.
We're in one right now. I mean, not the tattoo section.
We are in a very nice tattoo parlor. That is for sure.
We are. Next time I get a tattoo, I'll probably have to come here. I don't have my own tattoo place anymore.
I mean, Cloaked is really awesome at what they do. They've got amazing artists. They've got spaces where people want to come in and make podcasts or do all sorts of cool, unique art features. They're definitely a place to be. So we're grateful for them.
Thank you so much, Cloaked Collective. Very cool. Love the space. Mm-hmm. And nicest folks.
Yeah.
Like everybody I've spoken to has been amazing.
Yeah.
Mad props to those directors.
Yeah, the tattoo parlor scene was very interesting because it was one of those pieces where I was like, surely he's gonna die.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely. And that was, I think, the earliest trailer too was from that.
Yeah, and I remember watching those trailers, and one of the things that I've come to realize is if it's like random freak accidents like the logs or like a tire randomly jumping over an entire stadium and smacking and killing somebody, those are the things.
Those were so funny. It was like a splat.
Those are the things where I'm like, okay, this to me I can kind of be like, all right, yeah, cool. But when it attaches to his nose ring and then you're just like, and you start to see like the pulling. Those are the things
so
where it's like the body, I'm like, I can't watch it. Like those are the interesting parts, but I loved the way
There's no chains coming down for you. I think you're good, man.
I loved the way that they incorporated the little bobblehead of the skeleton.
Yes.
And how it would wobble.
Literally death.
Yes.
Literally death is like,
And then it's like the music stops and he puts on this super sad song
Yep.
for his dad.
Yep.
That was just it was
It was tough. Yeah. It was so good. But that's what I'm talking about. Like that, like bring up that tension.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I know he's going out. He's going out.
And he still died. That's
Yep.
the sad part, though.
Well, even
because
though
he
we
started,
get told,
yeah,
hey, no, he's exempt. He's not
Yeah.
a blood relative. Surprise. Sorry, Dad, you died and you didn't know maybe, but he's a bastard. Ah.
yeah.
Like, that poor family.
The mom in that though,
Aunt
what
Brenda.
a jerk.
Yeah.
And she was grieving though.
It doesn't matter. That's jerk.
She was. Oh, you mean about the affair? Yeah, no, that's a jerk move.
Like, that's
Yeah,
a
for
jerk
keeping
move.
that a
I thought you
secret.
meant after.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, like regardless, I mean, the dad took care of the kids and loved the kids incredibly. Like, for him to find out, hey, my dad died. Oh, hey, this is the reason I didn't die, and it's because that's not your dad. Like, that takes a whole nother level of.
Did he
grieving.
get the
That's
dad
awful.
tattoo after?
He got it before.
He got it before.
Oh,
See?
snap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was grieving and
Dang.
he was so upset that he got the tattoo.
He's like, let me tattoo a dad.
and
a
then
dad
didn't
with
even
a-
know.
And that's
With
not
a
his real
weird
dad.
burn.
Yeah.
The heart shaped.
Death has a sense of humor. Death has a sense of humor.
Yeah.
But that brings up something I was reading about. So, okay, so you know the coroner that they meet
Down
at the
in-
hospital in the basement,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so really interesting thing. I don't know if y'all knew this or not, but the actor that plays that character is Tony Todd. Tony Todd sadly passed away in between the filming and the release of the movie.
Oh, no.
He had stomach cancer, but he is a character that has come back several times
Wow.
throughout the franchise. He was originally the Candyman.
Oh, okay.
That's who that actor is. So
That-
he's been
he's
a
looked familiar.
big part of the horror scene for
Crazy.
years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And they knew that this was probably basically like almost 100% going to be the last movie
Yeah.
he filmed. And so the directors were like, dude, you just write your own lines and just tell us, like, this is your goodbye to the franchise. This is your goodbye to your fans.
Yeah.
This is, you tell them what you want to say. And so in the middle of this movie that is full of grief and, I mean, to me, comedy, but like horror and different things like that, that moment, I remember sitting in the theater, because I didn't know that until after the fact. I was doing research. But that moment was so heartfelt, and it was so, there was just like this touching point to it that you were like it stood out, you know?
Yeah.
But that's why, is like he knew he wasn't long for the world, and he wanted to say goodbye in a franchise that he's been a part of for over 20 years now. Because I think the first one
came out
was
in like 2000.
one, I
2001?
think.
Yeah, the original
2000.
2000. Yeah.
is the GOAT for sure. The OG.
But yeah, it really was. It was really touching. But the reason I brought Tony Todd up is because now we find out his name is JB. But was it Bloodworth? Bloodworth? I think it's Bloodworth. Dawn, why can't you find the word you want?
Dang it, Dawn.
I know. Bloodworth. Yeah. But basically, Bloodworth has shown up several times, and some people, there was like a rumor floating around where some people were like, well, he's Death and he's toying with him. But he's not. He's actively being hunted by Death.
Right.
And that's why he knows those things. So it's like this movie tied all that up and was like, hey, legit, this guy's next once Iris goes. Because he is the last person she was
Right.
able to save
Right.
from that original premonition. He was that little boy that she put in the, she pulled out of the cart. His mom put him in the cart, and then she was holding before they fell with that ring thing. I think that one really got me, because
Yeah.
I have low-key been terrified of losing a finger because of rings. Like, I won't buy titanium rings or whatever that metal is. Is it titanium?
Yeah, tungsten, I
Or
think.
tungsten. I'm just scared. I'm like,
Yeah.
silver's fine.
Yeah, that one was very hard to watch. But I think the cool part with JB was when they're down there and they're talking to him, he literally says, as he gets up and he's going away, he's like, well, it's coming for you, and then it's coming for me. So it's kind of especially learning these things and learning these interesting facts, knowing that maybe that was his real expression.
Yeah.
Like, death is coming for
Yeah,
me.
he knew it.
And that's when he
'Cause he
was
had,
like, I'm going to
stomach
retire
cancer.
and stuff. And then that's sad too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was like, I'm just going to go enjoy life while I can. And
Yeah.
then that's when.
Yeah, it really adds, because like we go to the movie, well, as Nicole Kidman would say, we go to the movies too. No, but anyway, we went to AMC. We had to see Nikki Kid. Yeah, I mean, we go to have fun, but like there's real people on the other side of that. And, yeah, I love that he got to be able to say goodbye, but it is kind of a bummer to know that, hey, like what... he was a real one,
Yeah.
And I do love, and I think it deserves to be called out, that this franchise in particular, Tony Todd's character kind of upends the magical Negro trope that Spike Lee originated, because it's not about a person of character saving white people and telling them how to, like, this is how you fix it, I'll help you, and I'll give you all the exposition to, like, fix it. He's like, dude, you're gonna die. Like, I mean, I don't know, like, figure it out. Like, I don't know, maybe die and come back, maybe kill somebody, I don't know. But like, at the end of the movie, we find out the reason he has ideas is because he's on that list and he's talking to Iris, and they're literally creating a Pinterest board of how to avoid death.
It's very interesting too, because it's like the shielding aspects. So like Iris shielded her family from death. So I know like her kids hated her, but at the same time she enabled her kids to have the lives that they wanted. Right. This gave the ability for them to have their kids, and then so it was a very interesting thing to think about, is how a lot of times what we don't understand is really there to help us in the long run. And I think that's what this movie does so well, though, is really showcasing that it literally could be anything. It could be glass in a cup that ends up on grass. It could be accidentally getting a ball kicked in your head and you fall into a trash can. But it's they do and consistently have done such a good job of making the most regular and normal things where you're like, oh gosh, like the revolving door, when they're walking into the revolving door of the hospital, I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? There's got to be other doors. I've been in
a different door.
There's been other doors, and I'm like, how is this gonna happen? Is it gonna speed up and then all of a sudden he just splatters?
Or they get stuck and then like they can't breathe. Yeah, my spouse and I went through a revolving door the other day, and I was like,
yeah.
Like,
after watching that movie, you're just like, every little thing, like you look at the penny, you look at like glass or like ways that you could possibly die too, and it just that's how good the movie gets you.
It got you. Yeah. Well, and one of the things I didn't know about this until after the fact, but apparently if you got to see it in IMAX, because they have a different aspect ratio, they basically zoomed out right before death would happen. So you got like an extra layer of foreshadowing.
How cool.
Isn't that cool?
That is cool.
The other thing that you probably, well, if you're familiar with filmmaking, anytime we were entering into a potential death situation, we'd get a Dutch angle. So for those that are uninitiated, a Dutch angle is, instead of the camera being just stable, it literally kind of twists off its axis diagonally, which makes you feel unsettled because you're like, well, that's not right. And that's a Dutch angle. And some of them were pretty severe and some of them were a little softer, but it was like, it's coming. And then you'd see a death breeze.
Yep. And then the actual sound drops.
Yes, it does.
Significantly.
Yes,
so
it
you're
does.
really, I didn't understand that Dutch angle until you just brought that up, but the sound piece, it really takes all of the senses that have been overwhelmed before and just...
It zeroes you in. You're just like, oh no. Something's wrong. I don't know why or what, but death is about to happen. I think my favorite thing from this whole deal, and it goes back to my hot take, is death loves a Rube Goldberg machine. Like that's death's favorite. It's like, hey, guess what? It's going to be 5 different things, and we're going to get you.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. I absolutely, I love it. It's Death's favorite thing, and it just keeps you guessing.
It really
Because you
does.
think it's going to be one thing. Like you
Yeah.
said, like the glass. You think it's going to be, blood.
Well,
But no.
There's other things too, though, that like the movie kind of played on you a little bit.
Oh, it
because
did. It did. It was like, huh?
The
Wink,
part
wink,
where
not that.
Steph is locked into the seat,
Yes.
Oh, yeah, at the
you
end.
know, and then it's like, okay, oh, there's water right there, but wait, are the mom's still cool?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
kicking?
yeah. How you
And so
can't
there's
be
all these
her.
little things, but then when she gets saved, you're
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, cool, they broke the curse. Like, this is so great. I'm excited they broke the curse. And then the homage at the
Psych.
end.
Yeah.
It was just how they tied in, I think, the most
Making
iconic.
us think like that
Mm-hmm.
she flatlined, came back,
Yeah.
broke the curse, and then JK.
Yeah, literally, JK.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
really glad you brought that up because, like, if you think, like, if you go back through and you watch all the movies, they do this to you a couple different times, where you, as the viewer, and the characters are aligned in that you're like, dude, they're safe, they're
Right.
good,
Right.
they've nailed it, and every single time without fail, no. Sorry, you didn't. But they feel safe because it was weeks that went by.
Yeah.
And they believed they were safe. So then it makes you ask the question, were you safe because you believed you were safe? Or were you in danger because you believed you were in danger? No one had died until Steph had the dream of her grandmother's premonition.
Yeah.
No one died.
Correct.
So
True.
all of it would have not happened if what happened? Steph didn't track down her grandma, and her grandma didn't step out of the cabin
Yeah.
and get Rube Goldberg to death.
That's so.
So it was Steph's fault.
It's Steph's
She
your
was the
fault,
inst-
Steph.
So then
It was
do you-
the instigator. Yeah.
Well, so
Who
then-
caused everyone to die.
Good job, Steph.
The question, though, would be, did death haunt Steph to the point that she pushed
Yeah.
in an aspect
So
Iris
she's
out?
the Rube Goldberg machine.
Yeah.
She was Death's like,
I feel like the little premonitions, and a lot of it was people just not listening to her and her family, but at the same time, she was one kind of making them happen.
Yeah, again, because she just kept pushing and pushing and pushing
Right.
and pushing, and it. Oh man! Oh
Interesting.
man! Yeah.
Interesting. So
yeah.
now is that a hero or a villain?
Ooh.
I think it just is.
I think it just is.
I think it just is. Death doesn't play sides, man. Death is like, listen, y'all on my list, fam.
I'm gonna get it done.
Yeah. He's just checking off checklists. I mean, we all love a good checklist. I mean, I do. One of the other interesting factoids that I found when I was researching was this movie set at basically some sources said a Guinness Book World Record, some just cited a world record, but for the oldest person ever set on fire in a movie. There was in the Skyview scene, we have actress Yvette Ferguson, who basically came out of retirement. She was 71, and they set her on fire, and she ran through
the Skyview.
And she ran through the Skyview. That
Crazy.
you know, when Iris went back through, like put the lid on the pan with the
Right.
fire. But I thought that was pretty baller. It's like, hey, guess what? I'm gonna come back in and you're gonna set me on fire. That'll be great.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty dope, right?
Yeah. That is dope.
Really awesome. The effects of that whole
it
Skyview
was
scene
phenomenal.
were
Oh,
absolutely
yeah.
incredible.
They did. So one of the things that the directors were talking about is they tried to do as much practical as they could with video effects as supplemental. So like they were legitimately dropping people through the floor onto like landing pads or whatever.
Oh, wow.
Because that makes it more real than just
Yeah.
CGIing people.
I see.
So
okay.
they did as much practical effects as possible, whereas I think there were several reasons 4 wasn't as good, but they leaned in heavily on like 3D elements and video effects,
Yeah.
and it didn't age well for that reason and some others.
Yeah.
But
Lord knows we don't need another horrible movie like the latest Snow White with all that CGI.
I did not watch it.
That was so bad. So I found out that Lilo and Stitch had like double the amount in the box office versus Snow White. Yeah. Like, so it was.
The minute I heard that they were basically, like, nobody was reviewing it initially, and like everything was super hush hush, I was like, oh no, that's going to be bad.
But I think a lot of it goes into, into this, where they're using real people falling. They're using real life elements. And I mean, even the scene where he does get a face full of a lawnmower, like all of that,
Like you do.
like all of that was still so much more realistic than not. And so I think that's what adds that layer, like that.
It's all stuff that could happen to you.
Yes.
It's all stuff that could happen to you.
So,
we're not all in
like
a sky view, but
1,000 ways to die.
I mean, to be fair,
dumb ways to die.
We do have something very close to the sky view.
we do.
So Reunion Tower is like the real
Why are
life.
we not podcasting from there?
Yeah, we should. That would have been.
That would be
be-
terrifying.
That would've been
I would have peed a little bit.
Yeah. Well,
we're
it
here.
happens.
We're here to see it.
Yeah.
The box office success of this movie really sealed the deal on like the franchise continuing on.
Awesome.
So like their budget was $50 million. Opening weekend, $51 million. So they already made it back.
Oh, wow.
And then as of yesterday, the day before recording, the gross U.S. and Canada, because it was shot in Canada, in Vancouver, was $111,714,062.
Wow.
Gross worldwide, as of same time period, was $229,314,062. So it's been extremely successful.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And horror can be so tricky because if you don't get the pacing right, there are so many parts that make it not work. So they really nailed this one. It's been reviewed incredibly well. Rotten Tomatoes, as of the day before the recording, it was at 92% fresh.
Oh,
which puts it like one of the highest reviewed.
Yeah.
It's not like a top 10, but it's close. It's close. It
How
really
impressive.
is fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a fun spin on horror because we've got so many different other horror movies that we will be talking about.
Oh.
But so many different other horror genres and styles and things. And so I think part of what is the allure of Final Destination is the realistic aspects of it all. Like I know when I'm on the highway and I'm driving behind a log truck, I get a couple lanes over. And it's just those simple things that kind of go into it. And that's what makes Final Destination and this whole franchise so fun is like it is real. Like
it has far-reaching implications.
Yes.
Like it's always in the back of your mind. I can't wait until I can show my son number 2 with the elevator scene because he's already scared of elevators.
Oh, I'm terrified of them.
Already scared of elevators. So when he's a little bit older, I'll be like, yes, watch this with me. I'm already going to be on the hook for therapy, so I might as well.
If you're paying for it, you might as well cause more of it.
Yeah.
I swear there's a movie out there about an elevator, like where you're stuck. Like it's like a group of people that are just stuck in an elevator. So.
I probably.
If you know what that movie is, leave it in the comments so
let
we
us
can
know.
Review that because
that sounds
that's
awful.
a good question. I don't know if I can do that with my fear of heights, but
what if it's a low elevator?
You're not gonna die.
Yeah, there you go. So see, it'd be a low elevator.
I don't know. We'll find out. If you guys know, leave that in the comments below so we can actually...
Ruffkin wants to be tortured. Please help us torture Ruffkin.
Maybe I'll just have Dawn and Jerica watch it, but...
Yeah, I'm down.
You'll watch us watch it?
Yeah, I'll watch you
just
watch
grade
it,
our
and
faces.
depending on how your faces react, I'll be
You'll be like, oh. Any parting thoughts?
Just really enjoyed the movie. I was kind of going in with the amount of time that came between the last one and this one. It was kind of one of those where I'm like,
Huge gap.
I'm curious how they're going to be able to capitalize on this. Is this going to be as good as those?
I was worried it was going to be a nostalgia grab, not legitimately good movie.
For me, I was just excited that they did a great job of making me cringe in my seat, because
love a good seat cringe.
That's what I do. That's how I respond.
Yeah.
And I apparently laugh like a maniacal killer. So these two will be fine. I will not go after them. How about you, Jerica? What are your parting thoughts?
Gosh, I don't know. Go see the movie if you haven't. If you're a horror fan, you're going to love it. Mm-hmm. I was shocked that they actually came out with this. I thought it was over and they weren't going to come out with more, but the previews are really good too. Kind of amps you up for other horror films that are coming soon.
Oh, yes.
So those are going to be fun to also review. So those are my parting parts.
Yeah, go watch it.
Yeah,
watch
go
it.
watch it.
Finish this, then go watch it. Don't stop this. We don't need you abandoning before it's over.
Feel free to leave comments on what was your favorite part in the movie.
And what's your hot take?
Yeah, maybe what your hot take is. Did we get it wrong?
Yeah.
So, thank you.
We'll check you later.
Bye.
Guys, this is a serious podcast.
This is the most serious podcast that has ever been podcast.
Yeah, we don't laugh here.
Maybe we just upload what we're doing right now.
Yeah, right now. This is the podcast.